Om Shanti and a very warm welcome to Living the Legacy of Love finale. We have a very exciting lineup for you today, and I am your co host, Sangam. What an amazing 7 weeks it has been so far. This project has opened a treasure chest of love and wisdom we can all connect with and take inspiration from. Now, without further ado, let me introduce you to our co host, Stefania.
Om Shanti and very warm welcome to this grand finale. We have a beautiful program ahead. But before we go any further, I would like to ask you, Sangam, you have been part of the project team. Have you had any special experiences or special insights during the past months that you have been working on the project? Would be lovely to hear.
Thank you, Stefania. The feeling that arises when I look back at the time spent in this project is one of fortune. I feel so fortunate to be part of a project that has not only touched the hearts of those who have been part of the creation, but of countless others from around the world in so many different ways. There have been many moments of inspiration during this project, but what stands out for me is the love and encouragement that each one has had for one another.
Thank you, Sangam. Do you know what has come to my mind? What's coming to my mind again and again is that Baba had said that as was the beginning, so will be the end. And I think one of the meanings of this, Baba probably meant various things, but one of the meanings could be that in the beginning, there was a lot of love. And that's really what we have been feeling from those classes and videos and moments of joy videos. But I think also now, for the final scenes, it's also so much about love. And it's almost like seeing everything coming together and realizing, having been on this journey, this Brahmin journey, that it's so much about love. It's all about love. And it feels like even if the project is coming to an end, living the legacy of love is definitely not coming to an end. That will just continue. So now we will hear from different senior instruments, Baba's beautiful duals from all over the world, and they are going to share with us some of their own special experiences of love with the daddies. So enjoy.
I have very sweet memories of my first visit to Madhuban. It was some 40 years ago, and I went with Sister Genti and a small group of 3 or 4 BKs some days before the season started. As soon as I arrived there, I met Daddy Ji. Somehow she came to know that I was from a good family, so next day she invited me to talk to her at the courtyard of Madhuban. She asked about my father, his profession, my mother, my sisters, and then she came to know that I was a Hatha Yoga teacher. So next day she invited me to go to her room, and when I arrived there, Didi Ji, Didi Manmohini, Daddy Manohar, Muliro Mohini, and few others were there, and she asked me to demonstrate some postures of Hatha Yoga. Not just I was very surprised, but while I was doing my postures, my positions of Hatha Yoga practice, Daddy Ji and Daddy Manohar started to follow me and started to do the same, mimicking what I was doing. So it was a very sweet scene. And what did I learn? What did I experience from this scene? I think that there was immediate feeling of belongingness, of belonging to Baba, of course, of belonging to Madhuban, and still I have that extreme love for Madhuban and love for the Brahmin family. So this was how I was captured in this yagya from my first years of Brahmin life. A second very nice memory that I have is that I started to see that some sisters used to go to Dadiji's bedroom early in the morning before the Murli. So I just joined myself, infiltrated myself, and started to go there as well. And what was happening there, it was that Dadiji was coming out from the shower and was finishing to dress herself, put the sari on, in front of this small group of very few sisters that assembled there in her bedroom. And she would share some points of the Murli, she would share Toli, and she would say a few words, and then she would just ask us to leave to go to the Murli. So that intimate scenes that made us to realize how the real leaders are so close to their people. The real leaders, they reveal themselves, their inside and their outside completely to whoever is part of their kingdom, because they are not afraid to show who they really are. So this was Dadiji and the memories that I have from her. Om Shanti.
I have a story about Dadi Gulzar from her visits to Australia. The first time I met Dadi, I was 2 months in Gyan, and Dadi was visiting Adelaide in South Australia. So I went with some others to the airport to meet her, and as it happened, on the same day, Pope John Paul II was visiting Adelaide. So his route to the airport, or to the city from the airport, was lined with thousands of people holding candles, while Daddy was sitting in the back of a car, a little old car with 3 BKs going to the centre. The next day, the Pope said Mass for 180,000 people, while Daddy gave class for just a small group of us. So it struck me the contrast that here was such a great soul with such a great part in the drama, and yet so incognito, so humble. And another time we had a retreat for BKs in the Melbourne Retreat Centre, and it was a busy time. There were a lot of things to do, and I was given the task to make Daddy's vegetable juice every morning and to deliver that to the sister who would eventually give it to her. So a lot of other people were doing things in the background, the laundry, the ironing, making lots of arrangements. So I didn't actually see Daddy to talk to or have personal contact with her, but on the day that she was leaving, she sent a little gift for all of us that had been helping, and that was quite unexpected. So it was a small pot of hand cream, but the message was really acknowledging us and making us feel connected and included. So that was a very sweet gesture. And another time we had a retreat for BKs, and Daddy was tying Rakhi for everyone and giving very powerful drishti to each soul. And as a young Kumari, I had the opportunity to sit next to Daddy and to pass her the Rakhis. And it was very powerful. It was like sitting in a yoga bhatti without making any effort. And so these are some of the impressions that I've seen from Daddy about her being very simple, incognito, very humble, speaking very few words, and yet being incredibly powerful.
Om Shanti, everyone. I am so fortunate to meet many dadis from my childhood. Parents used to invite them at our Laukik home. I remember at first Didi Manmohini ji visited, and then Dadi Prakash Mani, Dadi Nirmal Shanta ji, Dadi Sandeshi, Shilindra Dadi, many dadis visited and bless our home. My practical teacher's training was from Dadi Nirmal Shanta ji in Calcutta. That was the biggest blessing for me. I stayed 3 years there, and Dadi Nirmal Shanta ji is so intelligent, disciplined, perfect. I used to make so many mistakes, and she would give her sweet teachings at each and every step. And the teachings were so amusing, interesting. She was great teacher. And the same way, Dadi Prakash Mani's personality was superb. Her leadership was inspiring. Once I was in Thanda Bhavan, she called me in her office, and Dadi Ishu and Ramesh Bhai were also there. Dadi explained to me about our spiritual trust and gave power of attorney of World Renewal Spiritual Trust. And Dadi said, "Ye to yajna mein pali hai." She has been sustained in the yajna. And that time, my physical age was late 20s. But she had so much faith, confidence, trust. Actually, that activated my inner qualities, and I felt myself trustworthy, mature soul, and protected to the yajna. I made myself a promise till my last breath, I will take care of the yajna. My heart was surrendered, seeing Prakashmani Dadi's magnetic personality. We got the sense of belongingness, and my heart bows down in front of Dadi Janki. She was Siddhi Swarup. 25 years ago, in 1996, Dadi Janki came to inaugurate Milpitas Center, and that time it was in a tiny rented townhouse. After inauguration, when Dadi was leaving, before sitting in the car, Dadi turned herself and gave a powerful drishti to that house and spread her both hands like that and said, "Choti kutiya hai, bhari rahegi, bharpur rahegi." It was great blessings. This is full of Brahmins and overflowing with everything. Dadi's words became true. All Dadis were so powerful, real jewels. And here we are so fortunate. We had a sustenance from them. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. I'm Rebecca Ortega from the Philippines. I came to Tian in 1983. My first assignment was in Baguio. And there was something that happened in Baguio which we needed Daddy to come, because there was most of our students came from the Catholic university called St. Louis University. The conflict was because it's a very Catholic city. Baguio City is up in the north, the mountain. They were saying that we are teaching another religion, and we're influencing some of the faculty because they come to the class, and that was a big thing. And I think some parents initiated a kind of a demonstration against us, and therefore some of the BKs who are actually working at the university were subjected to a lot of feedback about their involvement with the Brahma Kumaris. So there was a time when Daddy Janki had to come to actually interact with the city, and Daddy did not have any time, so she can only be there for about 24 hours. She came early in the morning by flight. We had a lunchtime public program for the whole city, where she actually talked about Gyan and an open question and answer. And I can actually see the confidence of Daddy and her contact with the audience, which actually generated not of questions, but a lot of the aspect of vibration of love. And a lot of people had very good experience. So I thought Daddy will rest, but she said, no, I'm not going to rest. Show me the Shakti, show me the Pandavavan, and show me the other center, which is down the mountain of Baguio, which is actually about, in a sense, about 90 minutes drive from Baguio City to I think the Gupan City. Okay, and so what happened was, she was so enthusiastic about being there. Most of the students speak English, but some of them can't. But she was interacting with them, asking them about Baba. And I was just watching it, and she said, does Daddy really have time to do this? And I can see her enthusiasm and the ability to be able to make them feel her love. And we were just there for just half an hour. And I think after that, they were so happy, and we went back to Baguio. Okay. And I think that was my experience of that, being able to share instantaneously the love for the students.
Those sharings were wonderful. I feel like those sharings invoke a feeling of love that we can all resonate with. It really takes me back to fond memories that I have had with the Dadis. One moment that I treasure is when Dadi Gulzar visited Oxford. And after the class, we all had the opportunity to go onto stage and take Drishti. From the moment I sat down, my heart was filled with love. It was such a powerful experience that every time I revisit that memory, my heart is filled with love. So let's continue to listen to more of our seniors share their experience.
Om Shanti. I am Sister Judy here in Calgary, Canada, and sharing a memory with the Dadis. And I think we all have so many memories. The one I am thinking of now, this was with Daddy Ji, Daddy Prakashmani. And we were going as a group to receive Toli, blessings, gifts, our apron being filled. It was in History Hall. So they had the Daddies sitting on the couches in the back of the hall, and we would come in through the door and go through this line. And I remember I was very young Brahmin, and I was having a little chit-chat with Baba as my turn came closer. I was saying, Baba, I just want to see what soul consciousness looks like. You know, Daddy Ji was so engaging, so vibrant, so animated, so loving, on a very, very overt level, and I wanted to see, what does soul consciousness look like? And I remember my turn came, and I was just this strong thought in my mind, and it was absolutely incredible what I experienced in that few seconds. Daddy was very animated, very vibrant, very engaging, but in that moment of Drishti, receiving Toli, I saw the depths of that still point in silence beyond. It was a wonder to see both at the same time. The stillness, the beyondness, the essence of that seed, and then the beauty, the love, the vibrance of the blossom, the flower. It was truly detached and loving. And I remember it struck me so deeply that as I passed on down the line, I was pulled to look back. I just couldn't believe what I had seen. And at that moment, her head turned to look at me again as if to say, would you like to see that again? It stayed with me my whole Brahman life, this vision of what Baba is making us into, the seed and the fruit combined, detached and loving. The one I am thinking of now was a small group meeting with Daddy Manoir. I think it was in one of the sitting rooms in Daddy's cottage, and there was just a handful of us, and of course the translator. And it was a very beautiful meeting. There was a sharing of stories, drishti, and then the part came when there would be sharing of toli and blessings. And going just as it usually does, the translator was handing the toli to Daddy, and she was about to give to each of us in turn. I was on the side, so she turned to me first, and just as she was about to put in the hand, she stopped herself and said, would you like me to give you toli the way Brahma Baba gave us toli? And we were all like, yes. And so she turned to the interpreter and said, you will have to pretend to be Mama. And so then she gestured to me, and I came forward, kneeled in front, and she said, no, and she wanted me to put my head in her lap, and she was, again, so much love. You could really feel how much love they receive, feeding me the toli in the mouth, the interpreter trying to be Mama. It was a very sweet moment, trying to really transfer to us the legacy of that love. So I think we've all had such experiences. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. I must say that Daddy Janki was very concerned about my progress in my spirituality. Once Daddy Janki told me that whatever she has accumulated in terms of fortune, she feels that she wants to, if possible, she wants to give everything to me. So I was so amazed about the big-heartedness of Daddy Janki. Look at how much feelings that she has for me. Another time, Daddy asked me, do you know who Daddy is? Basically, Daddy wants me to know that I must aim at a high stage like Daddy Janki. So that was very useful for me. Yet another time, Daddy told me, you are an honest soul. This is very true. This is my strong point. In one of the functions, Daddy saw me dancing. And seeing me dancing, she called me and told me, Lechubai, you have changed a lot. I have been working on transforming you, and you now have become much lighter. So this is also true because I used to be a very serious person. The Malaysian family actually built a big retreat center on the inspiration of Daddy Janki. She has helped us a lot in this project. As the project was nearing completion, we heard a lot of complaints, we heard a lot of accusations and defamation about me. I felt a little bit hurt because I was working on it honestly, my whole team, and how could people just simply make a complaint? There was one meeting held in Madhuban and we sorted out everything. And as the meeting finished, I was walking away and I saw Daddy Janki and Daddy Gulza coming towards me. Daddy then stroked my back, and Gulza Daddy came and put a hand on my head, and both of them gave me blessing. And for me, these moments are such touching moments because I felt that Baba has come in the form of Dadi Janki and Dadi Gulzar, and giving me the confidence, don't worry child, Baba is with you all the time. Seeing the success of the building, Dadi was very happy, and Dadi was telling in front of the crowd that in the whole of the BK family there is only one Brother Lechu. These words are also very touching and very inspiring for me. I take this opportunity to thank Dadi for giving me so much of inspiration in this Brahman life. Om Shanti.
Loving greetings. Today I would like to share my experience for the Living Legacy of Love project. I'm very happy to share about Dadiji. Dadiji to me was big inspiration of wisdom and love. Dadiji maintained her awareness. Baba is Karan Karaman her, and she had a big responsibility to run this yagya, and yet seated on Baba's heart throne. And what is the basis of all that? I found that is purity. Without purity, it is not possible. Dadiji was instrument to bring the expansion of this yagya. At Brahma Baba's time, Baba put the roots and Dadi made it expanded. We see Dadi's purity very well. Dadiji came to also foreign country to bring this beauty of purity, to sow the seeds which we see has brought so much fruit in the life of others. Second is Devi Manmohiniji. Devi Manmohiniji taught me the principle, the systems. I never saw Didi without notebook and pen. She taught me how to write points of the Murli. She taught me how to do accurate Amrit Vela. Didi's contribution to this yagya, to organization of this Brahmin system was so great, which we see today that yagya is following traffic control and Murli reading and how to play with the jewels of knowledge that Didi taught me. Also, Didi was very, very entertaining. Her pure drishti, penetrating drishti, also brought lot of happiness to double foreign world I have seen. And also I want to share with you one more story of Dadi Chandramani. I traveled with her in Asia. Dadi Chandramani, full of humor, full of happiness, and yet very powerful, lawful, everything accurate, discipline in her life, fearless in her life. I saw Dadi Chandramani not favoring anyone. Her discernment was great. She was called troubleshooter for this organization, for Baba's work. So we found Dadis have given us a great wisdom and sustained us with great love. Thank you so much, Dadis. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. I am Bridge. Some of you know me and some of you not. I would like to give many thanks to Baba that he made me belong to him, and at the same time so many souls They played beautiful part to inspire me. And in those souls, Didi Manmohini, she was number one. Didi, she was instrument to send me London. How I came to London, I would like to tell you the story. I never thought going to London or going for Baba's service. So when I was taking leave from Didi, Dadi Janki was also sitting there. Didi asked Dadi Janki, would you like to take Bridge with you? And Dadiji looked at me because she doesn't know me very well, and I also didn't know Dadi Janki. Then Didiji asked me, do you have passport? I said, no. I thought, passport? I never thought in my dreams also. So then Didiji say, Didi, I was quiet, and Didi again asked me, would you like to go? So I said, I have to ask Ashok Bhai, he's my Laukik husband. And then Didiji said, okay, when you go back home, you apply for passport. And when the passport is ready, let me know. So after 2 months, passport was ready. And then I wrote to Didi. 1 or 2 months, there was no answer. So they used to tease me. Ashok Bhai used to tease me, no, you are not going to London. Didi just, she was joking, you are not going to go. So then Didi's letter came that I have to go in 1 week. So I came to London in June 1980, and since that time I am here.
This was so beautiful. It's amazing to see how Baba has his jewels all over the world, and how Baba manages to touch each one in such a unique way, with all of those special experiences. So now we just have a few of those videos left, and maybe while we watch them, maybe we can allow our own memories with the daddies and dadas, our own memories of love to emerge from within, and just watch the videos while kind of absorbed in that love.
Om Shanti. I thought I'd share with you a brief experience that I had with Daddy Gulzar many years ago. It was, as I recall, the year after Baba had announced that there would be no more personal meetings with Avyak Babdada on stage. And I'd just been to Madhuban, and I was on my way back, and I was feeling very fulfilled from that trip. But then something happened in Delhi. I went to Gopal Bhai's office, and he was sitting there with Daddy Gulzar, and she gestured to him to pass her an apple. And then she handed me the apple with the most amazing drishti. Honestly, it was just like, because of Baba not having the personal meetings, it was almost like I got mine then, because it was those same eyes, it was that same drishti, it really was such a bodiless experience. I don't know how long it was. It was probably only a few seconds, but it felt like an eternity. And beautiful smile. And then when I walked out of that room, I just felt so bodiless, and I thought, wow, what an amazing lesson. This is just showing me really how easy it can be. But Daddy was like that. She had this terrific ability to just be bodiless, because she was so silent, I think, anyway. That was her nature. It really rubbed off on me that day.
Guatemala in 1983, Sister Leticia and myself, Sister Anne, we built a house for God called Teokai without any distinction of religion. All the religions have passed by. In 1986, we got a call from Mexico. There was a doctor that used to come for seminars with us, and Ernesto met him. So they both came and they presented to us the campaign, Million Minutes of Peaceful World. Sister Balbi, who's now in El Salvador, Sister Leticia and myself, we worked this campaign with full force. You cannot imagine how much enthusiasm and success there was all over the country. After the final in 87, again, Ernesto called from Mexico and he said, you know, the most stable mind in the world is coming to Mexico. Do you want her to come to Guatemala? We said, of course. Let her come. So Daddy Yankee, Didi Mohini, and Sister Elena Marcos, 3 of them came to Guatemala for some programs and presented this campaign. It was a wonder. When Daddy entered the place and she went into the hall, she declared, this is Baba's home. We accepted with so much love. And since then, after 34 years, we have been following this path of Brahmin life. As they had to arrange papers to go back. So Daddy Yankee and myself stayed in the car. And she started to asking me questions about my own life, and I asked her question about her own life. I didn't know who Daddy was. She has also called us always her friends. After this, she invited us to come to Madhuban as VIPs. We went in 88 and we met Daddy Kumarka, other daddies, and when we entered the courtyard, we felt this is our home. We are Brahmins. So we enjoyed so much those days in the yajna. And the foundation of our Brahmin life has been the wisdom of Daddy, her love, her care, and that has been with us all the way in these 34 years. We're so proud to be Brahmins. And all the wisdom from the Daddies also, this is our legacy of love. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. I came into Gyan in 1998, and coming into Gyan relatively late, I didn't have a lot of opportunities to develop very close and personal relationships with the Daddies, but I have always felt very close and connected to Daddy Prakashmaniji. And I'd like to share one little experience I had in connection with Daddy Ji. It was during one of my early years in Gyan, and we were in Om Shanti Bhavan celebrating some special occasion or a festival, and the seniors were being decorated with different things, and Daddy Ji was given a crown and different other decorations. And when I saw Daddy wearing this crown, and that scene just made me enter into a different state of mind. And it was a totally blissful kind of feeling. And I was feeling like I was in harmony with everything and everybody around me. And I must have stayed in this state for quite a while. I don't remember much of the rest of the program. But when I came to my senses, I saw that the program was already over and the souls were leaving the hall. But I also tried to get up and move, but I couldn't because I was frozen in that powerful experience. So after a while, I could slowly feel the senses, and I could move and leave the hall as well. And Daddy always reminds me of that experience. And after that, it became much easier for me to connect with our experience in the Golden Age. And when Baba explains different aspects of Golden Age, I always think of that experience I had. And now it's much easier to connect with that. So that's my experience, indirect experience with Daddy, and I cherish it very much in my memory. Om Shanti.
Next, we have a very special song by Sister Elizabeth, who has composed this song especially for this program.
I couldn't see, I couldn't feel, I didn't know if you were real. I looked in eyes that knew God's love. It was only you she was thinking of. She said to me, hold Baba's hand, and then you'll know and understand. A love so pure the world has not seen in 5,000 years come into being. Living a legacy of love, linking hearts to the one above. Living a legacy of love, Shiv Baba through Brahma to daddies and family. I know it's you, and I believe it's all true. I speak your words and show others too. You taught my heart to recognize and feel your love and realize that no one can love this soul like Shiv Baba can. Baba showed us and held a hand through Daddy's eyes, and God's embrace will move the world, lift the human race. Living the legacy of love, linking hearts to the one above, living the legacy of love. Shiv Baba through Brahma to daddies and family, living the legacy of love, linking hearts to the one above, living the legacy of love. Shiv Baba through Brahma to daddies and family, living the legacy of love, linking hearts to the one above, living the legacy of love. Shiv Baba through Brahma to daddies and family.
Thank you, Elizabeth, from our hearts for this beautiful song. It's always so lovely to hear Baba's angels sing like this. Very special. Thank you. And now we have also something else, which is also very special. Upcoming, we have a series of very short videos coming from souls again from all over the world. And those souls got 2 questions, which they had to answer. The questions were, when you hear this term, legacy of love, what does that mean to you? And how do you see the future of the Yagya? Obviously, very big questions, and they had to answer them in 20 to 30 seconds. So let's hear what they had to say.
For me, living the legacy of love is finding my eternal family, is finding my purpose in life, a deep happiness in my heart, in my conscience, and the future of the Yagya is like this flower behind me that opens up at the beginning of the day, and I really feel that new day is coming, and I hope we join all together to receive it.
Love, it's an energy that's in me and all around me. And the legacy is that we tap into this energy, we feel, experience it, and we spread it all around us and we pass it on.
בבא יצר את מורשת האהבה, הרבה רגשות טהורים צפים כשאני רואה את הסרטים הממלאים אותי בכוח. אני נהנה מכל רגע עם המשפחה הנפלאה, דבר שמאחד אותנו עם מחשבה אחת של אהבה שתוביל אותנו חזרה לבית המתוק עם בבא. אום שאנטי.
Shanti, legacy of love for me is a heart filled with unconditional, pure, divine love. A heart that wants to stay together, united as a family. And I see the future of our Yagya very bright and beautiful. Our Yagya is unique and wonderful. Love is the fire of our Yagya, in which we burn to become purified, divine angels. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti, to me, the living legacy of love, it's a real and a practical form of life, of a spiritual life that Baba is giving me, giving us, And I see that each time more and more this high energy, the energy of love, is going to be present in my life, in the life of the family, and in the life of the Yagya, and in the life of the entire world.
Allowing the love, the joy, the wonder that has reached us all these years directly from God and His creation to reach others in the most unlimited, selfless, generous way without any blockage, any filter. This is legacy of love. And the future of God's Yagya, I can see one golden heart embracing the whole world. Divine unity.
O legado de amor para mim é paz na mente, coração honesto e alma pura. E a Yagya sempre será o nosso porto seguro. Para mim é um sentimento profundo de pertencimento, de fazer parte dessa linda e ilimitada família global, espiritual, de ser um doador do mundo. Gratidão.
Om Shanti. For me, legacy of love means whatever I have received all throughout my spiritual life, it is my turn now to give others the same feelings and the sense of belonging that I have received. Om Shanti.
A legacy of love means to live with truth, so love emanates naturally. And my feeling for the future of the Yagya is resilience. A legacy of love is treading lightly at every step. My feeling for the future of the Yagya is empowering the world one thought at a time.
For me, legacy of love means that I'm always receiving one strength and one support. I feel Yagya will be protected and sustained by the fortress of true love.
Legacy of love reminds me how Baba's pure love reaches either soul, unconditionally present even though my attention goes elsewhere. Only to remind me at present that Baba has always loved me truly. I recollect all that Baba did in my life. Baba made me and taught me and gave me happiness. Baba frees me from the clutches of Maya, which helps me to see His constant love clearly, and it melts my heart. The future of the Yagya, I feel, is that one family is immersed in Baba's love. Om Shanti.
Legacy of love means for me that Baba and Mama are with me all the time in my heart, and also daddies, seniors and dadas, even I didn't meet them physically. But also, my vision about the Brahmin family is about belonging, only one family, only one heart, supporting each other no matter what, love and sweetness. Om Shanti.
When love really gets diminished within humanity, the ocean of love himself comes and establishes this Yagya in order to give love to all his children once again. And this is the future of the Yagya: real love, true love, natural love.
Sinto a nossa família divina como uma fortaleza, onde todos nós permaneceremos unidos por um único pensamento de amor. E com alegria, leveza e coragem, preencheremos o mundo com paz. Om Shanti.
When I think of legacy of love, I think about time, how the beginning is like the end, and in this moment, awakening to Baba's love, his generosity, his kindness, his care, and to feel that and to know that and to have it awaken the love within you, the love that you are. To me, that's the legacy. And the yagya supports that. The yagya creates the space so that energetically we can mirror each other with Baba.
The pictures of the young girls with Brahma Baba turn to wise, powerful daddies, sharing memories filled with faith and deep understanding. I felt as if I met my grannies, aunties, and uncles, most of them for the first time. Those who moved rocks to pave a way on Brahma Baba's footsteps for us to walk on more easily.
It feels as though it is that time now to see a glimpse of the golden age in the confluence age, a world full of love, happiness, and goodness.
When I hear the word legacy, my feeling is like it's your inheritance, it belongs to you. And like Baba and Mama and all the daddy have left us a lot of like big inheritance for us.
Legacy of love for me means to belong to this Bap Dada Yagya, and this Yagya exists since many years, and my feelings about this Yagya is that we are creating more and more unity.
It took me 10 years to realize how strong the support of the purity of the Brahmin family is. It took me 10 years to realize how close we are to those in the Brahmin family with whom you never thought that you have anything in common. So, Father, your legacy is the love of Brahmin family. Yeah.
When I watch our ancestors, it makes me feel hope. Baba always tells us that what has been at the beginning will be at the end too. So I know that we will be just like them, powerful, united, victorious.
Om Shanti. When I hear the terms of legacy of love, I realize I mustn't forget the love from Brahma Baba and ancestors' soul. There are footsteps of Brahma Babas, and I feel there are also footsteps of ancestors' soul.
Om Shanti. One of the main feeling that all human beings want to experiment is the power of love, and I felt it especially when I met Baba, that is the ocean of love, and together with it Baba taught me how to connect with my own love by having soul consciousness. And also Baba, I feel that Baba gave to me the feeling of belonging when I met our brothers and sisters, and to share this love with each other is so fantastic, so I try to keep it in my mind all the time. Om Shanti.
好，我是中国的皓月。通过观看《铭记爱的一阵》这个节目，我被长辈们优秀的品德和良好的生活习惯深深地打动了，进一步加深了我对爸爸的信念。舒克利亚，爸爸，爸爸 I love you。
Eu me lembro de algumas dades e das muitas experiências que tenho guardadas no coração. O legado do amor é uma oportunidade dourada para realmente entender a Yagya. Podemos olhar para as dades e aprender com elas, pois elas aprenderam com dois babas. Como foi no início, será no final. A Yagya será dos jovens. A Yagya será dos jovens.
Om Shanti. Para mí significa el abrazo con mis abuelas y abuelos amados. Ese abrazo que te da alguien que ha vivido tanto, alguien que ha experimentado tanto, y es un abrazo de felicidad, de seguridad, de amor.
Shanti, the legacy of love. Without love, what else is there? From morning, we sit at Amrit Vela in front of Baba, Ashiq wa Ma'shuq. Then we hear every morning Baba's love song, the Murli. Baba taught us true love, love of the self, love of the true self. In the future of the Yagya, Mansa Seva, serve through the mind. Om Shanti.
Shiv Baba is ocean of the love. We are his child. Love is like a legacy to be a Brahmin family. Love is the foundation of transformation towards divinity. I feel I am very blessed because Baba and Dadi's love makes me a person to be a loveful and loving to others unconditionally is very easy. The future of the Yagya very brighter, shiner and more flourish. By the Baba's blessing, we could aware more people around to us. Thank you. Om
Shanti, I love God. Love is sharing and it's caring, and love means that God is here.
What is love? Love for me is Madhuban. Love for me is the meethe bacche that Baba starts the Murli with. We have received the great Lord. I think it is time for us to carry this legacy forward. Let's pass on this love that we have received from Baba, from the ancestor souls, to the ones who have never tasted such love. And one day, this love is going to change this entire world. Om Shanti.
We almost come to the end of our program today, of this little journey of love together. But we have someone very special to end the program with, and who else but Sister Jenti, who herself is an absolute messenger of love. I think she is always a role modeling for the rest of us, what being extremely loving and yet absolutely detached, what that looks like. So thank you so much for being with us today, Jenti Ben. We look forward to hearing your message. But before we hand over to Jenti Ben, Sangam, is there anything you would like to add?
Thank you, Stefania. Before we go over to Sister Jenti, I'd like to remind you all that we have one more week left of the daily legacy videos. So I encourage you all to stay tuned. And from the whole team, I thank you and Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. I think we've all tremendously enjoyed the living legacy of love. And it's been very beautiful to see the responses that have come from all over the world. And so firstly, thank you for everyone and everybody across the world who has been watching this and benefiting from this and has been sending us their messages. So I'm glad that you've all appreciated it. But in particular, I also want to thank the team behind this. But so many across the world whose faces you may recognize, but names you don't know, who have given their support and cooperation and put in hours and hours of work. If you've ever done any editing of videos and putting things together, you know how much time and energy it takes. And in this case, it was digging deep into the archives that Madhuban had and pulling out from those what could be edited and just little slots created. So it's been love and passion, I would say, that has made it happen. But we're very glad that the team was so enthusiastic and put in all their heart and soul into making this happen. And so what did I take from all of this? It was beautiful to see the inspiration that was motivating and driving everyone. But also, it just reminded me tremendously of the faith that the Dadis had. If there's one particular quality that I would underline having seen, I would say all of them except a couple when I couldn't be there. But I've seen all of them so far except two, I think. And it was their faith in Baba. Baba said this and it will happen. Baba said this and I was able to do it. Baba made it happen like this. And so the whole story of the Yagya, from the tiny seed of Shiv Baba and then the little tiny roots in Karachi to the huge tree that spans the world and has become the canopy of protection for all souls from all traditions and all faiths and all backgrounds. How did this huge tree come about? It was the power of faith. Brahma Baba's faith, but also then the next ones, the ones closest to Brahma Baba, the Dadis and Dadas, and their faith was amazing. And it came across in whatever they were sharing. And the second thing was their courage. They didn't know what they were undertaking when they said yes to Baba to go out and serve the world. And it's wonderful that it's happened. And two stories of the Dadis that you may or may not know. I had the good fortune of traveling with Didi and Dadi Prakash many times. And of course, Dadi Janki. And in one particular situation, I won't mention the country or city, but it was early days in the 80s and the center was a lovely center. The city was a beautiful city. And it was one sister who was living there. And so she was busy organizing the evening program, which was going to be in a beautiful hall. And she left us alone at the center. It was Dadiji, it was Mohini Ben, who used to, little Mohini from Madhuban, who used to accompany her at that time, and myself. And Dadiji could see that I was quite exhausted, translation and helping and trying to do many things all together. So she said to me, this morning's free, you go rest for an hour. And I was very happy to take that instruction from her. So I went off to rest for an hour. And I knew that Moini Ben and Dadiji were together and it would be fine. And when I woke up, I went into the sitting room, couldn't see them. Then I heard some noises and I went into the kitchen. And what do I see? I see a table, and on the table, a chair. And on the chair is Dadiji, and she's reaching out to bring down a canister, a tin of something or another. And I had my heart in my mouth thinking, But how did she manage to get up there? But now she's going to come down again. And it was very beautiful the way she very sweetly told me, it's okay, it's going to be fine. And she came down slowly, and then she was laughing. While she was coming down, she was very alert and attentive, and then she came down. Can you imagine the uproar that would have happened across the world if she'd slipped? And by then, I think Dadi must have been in her late 60s or early 70s already. And then Moini Ben, of course, was laughing, and especially when she saw my face. But she'd been holding the legs of the chair. And it was incredible. Dadi came down and said, well, Moini Ben thought that she would give you all a treat, and she was going to make chapatis, and she was going to make cauliflower sabzi, vegetables. And she's very good at it, but we couldn't find the flour. And so we looked and looked, and then there was only that one shelf at the top that we hadn't searched. And guess what? I found it there. And so she's going to make us lunch now. And it was such a sweet scene of family love and joy. And Dadi was laughing. And she said, but I would be fine. Nothing would happen to me. But this was her pure love and Moini Ben's love for all that made it happen like that. So that's just one little scene. But these are the things that really have stayed in our hearts and our memories. And I'm sure that you also, each one of you, have something in your heart, either from your personal meetings with the Dadis or your travels with one of the Dadis, or maybe even just through the classes that you're reading and hearing now, because so many have taken birth after Dadiji left, but also after Dadi Janki left. I'm saying left because they're with us definitely in the subtle angelic form, but on a physical level, we do miss them. Yes, Baba, we love you and we remember you, but the times with the Dadis were very special. Okay, so thank you. Let's have a few minutes of silence together, going deep inside, coming to the awareness of the inner being. Out of my heart, there's an overwhelming sense of gratitude. And I say, thank you, Baba. I say thank you to the Dadis who have left behind such a beautiful legacy of love. Appreciating, realizing, and seeing what more I need to do I take power from the seed, from Shiv Baba. And I take love from the foundation of the Yajna, Brahma Baba. And I allow all the blessings that the Dadis have had for all of us to touch the soul deeply, so that as from now I truly live the legacy of love. Om Shanti.